Before we even do anything, we want the price of unga to come down to 100 shillings. Look at the other side of the government. Still, there are the hardliners as well. If you don't do this, we won't do this. If you don't recognize the president, we cannot have any discussion. And if you want any discussion, it has to be in parliament. That, if we talk about Wanjiku and you talk about parliament, then Wanjiku's interests are quite on the number 10 on the list.
I want to agree with you. If you look at how we got to where we are now, there have been quite a number of issues. We started by demonstrations, the push by Azimio to have this kind of talks. And then we say that succeeded. Some proxies and other issues that were done that brought that. But even before we now go to parliament, there are also other complaints about the parliament. There's a saying that Kenya Kwanza has a majority in the parliament. So their stance might probably take the end of the same to the Senate. They might take the day. There's also an agreement, a bilateral agreement, that the cost of living is high and something needs to be done. But I want to tell you, and I want to repeat what I've just said a few minutes ago, and which you agreed with, right? Is that governance will take #1 priority. In them, for them to agree. And we've seen some sort of governance, issues being floated there. You must recognize the Honorable William Samoei Ruto as the president of this nation. And you had the leader of Azimio last time when he was giving his concession speech. There was Ruto, Honorable Ruto. There's no mention of His Excellency of the President of Kenya, right? This is how political negotiations are created. This is how they are built and brought up onto the table. Then last time you had the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, say, this guy started the ambassador of the US, but there was no mention of the cost of living. Right? There was no mention of the cost of living in that discussion. Other things that were serving political interest for the Azimio coalition were the things that were brought up to the front. Right? So that tells you, even as we go into these talks, there are elephants in the room. There are lots of things that have to be discussed for them now to say, let's now sit and have a sober discussion. These guys are saying the entry point is cost of living. These guys are saying the entry point is a recognition of the current president as the Honorable Excellency of this Republic of Nation. And we are not saying there's an agreement from the start, but that is normal. That is normal when you want to go into this kind of hard discussions. But in the long run, we're going to have an agreement come out of this discussion.
And we're hoping for that.
Yes.
And looking